Apart from some leaks on strange websites, there is no real evidence that the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be set in Hammerfell. But for the sake of this video, let's assume that the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be set in Hammerfell. So, all of us can expect to explore a diverse province known for its deserts, mountains and coastal areas, and home to the Redguard culture. In every Elder Scrolls game, cities, towns and villages are important locations that have guild halls and serve as quest hubs. That is where a player ends up to unwind and socialize after a day of hard adventuring. Exploring the wilderness in any Elder Scrolls game is often filled with wonder, but dangers are always lurking in the shadows. When you spot that small village with friendly people down the road, it is such a joyful moment. You thank the divines, pick up the pace, knowing that you don't have to be stressed anymore, as you will meet friendly faces and can relax at last. Or maybe you rule the wilderness, and that village down the road is an opportunity. You feel a surge of adrenaline building in your veins and you charge. However you play these games, it is clear that cities, towns and villages play a key role when it comes to role-playing in an Elder Scrolls game world. Let's take a look at the map of Skyrim as seen in Elder Scrolls Arena. I'm amazed at the density of cities, towns and villages here. There are so many quest hubs. Compare this to the map of Elder Scrolls V Skyrim and you see the difference. The western part of Skyrim has only a handful of towns and cities. Where are these settlements you see in the arena map? Newgrad, Lenalten, Amberguard and Snowhawk. Sadly, many of them were not featured as settlements in Skyrim. Recently, I installed mods that added a lot of these towns from Arena, and man, it felt so good to stumble upon a small village when adventuring. Skyrim felt like a lived-in world and it felt nice to be part of a civilized society compared to the vanilla experience of a lawless land with more bandit camps than settlements. Why do you think Bethesda got rid of Snowhawk, a major city of the Third Era? Why didn't they include all of these small towns from Arena? I have a theory. Developing cities and towns is a time-consuming and costly affair because each of them has to be populated with fully voiced NPCs with distinct personalities, schedules, and dialogue. These locations also have to be quest hubs. Quest design is a complex art with a lot of writing, dialogue, and scripting work. As a result, there was no mention of many of these arena towns, and the major city of Snowhawk was turned into a ruined fort. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion also did the same with the city of Such, for example. If you have observed the development of Tamriel Rebuild, they churn out quests at a rapid pace and add a ton of settlements in every region of mainland Morrowind. Because they don't have to worry about voice acting, AI schedules, dialogue, scripting and other complexities. Skyrim modding is more complicated and time consuming compared to Morrowind modding, and thus teams like Beyond Skyrim are struggling to make a mini release compared to Project Tamriel or Tamriel Rebuild. But the same applies to gaming studios, and I feel voice acting is a big hindrance to scale. But sadly, no AAA game dev will ever go back to the topic system of Morrowind or Daggerfall. So if you thought Bethesda streamlined cities and towns in Oblivion and Skyrim, they took it to another level with Fallout 4. Yep, this is the nightmare scenario you saw in the title. Fallout 4 saw the debut of settlement building. Bethesda, in their infinite wisdom, left 33 sites for players to build settlements, and thus we hardly have any towns and villages with real NPCs and quests. Diamond City, Bunker Hill, Good Neighbor and Covenant were the only real towns that acted as traditional quest hubs. I won't count Vault 81, the Institute and the Pridwin as they are faction hubs rather than towns. So 33 sites for settlements is insane. If even 10 of these sites were real towns with people and quests, Fallout 4 would have been such a different game. This design does not feel right for a role-playing game. On top of that, the city of Boston was populated with raiders and Bethesda did not care about real communities of people. Vanilla Fallout 4 has so many flawed systems, and the emphasis on player settlements is just another. An awful design so out of place for RPGs. Same thing with Starfield. Only 4 major cities in the settled systems was extremely disappointing for me. Building your outposts and settlements is fine, but it should not come at the cost of real settlements. Back to the Elder Scrolls 6. This is the worst case nightmare scenario. Village building will be a feature in the game. Players can build villages like settlements in Fallout 4. Bethesda may make 2 or 3 cities and leave 30 sites for players to build villages. It is the easy way out for Bethesda, right? They do not have to put in the effort to create real towns and do not have to invest time and money into adding NPCs with voices and making handcrafted quests. If they take this approach, it won't be a role-playing game anymore, and more importantly, it won't be an Elder Scrolls game. I won't be surprised if this happens, and it will be a depressing day when I learn that they went with this route. Anyway, back to being positive, let's take a look at the anthology map of Hammerfell along with the map seen in Elder Scrolls Arena. The anthology map shows only the major cities of the province, while the arena map shows the small towns and villages too. For Elder Scrolls 6, I would love to see 8 large cities back from Arena. Let's familiarize ourselves with them. So you have Sentinel, likely the de facto capital, a bustling port city on the Iliac Bay, central for trade and culture. Then you have Stros Makai, a strategically located tropical island of the southern coast of Hammerfell. And then Hegate, the original capital steeped in history on the western coast. Gilane, a southern city potentially reflecting unique Redguard culture influenced by the Rurken clan and the House of Dwemer, who left Morrowind to settle at Hammerfell. Then you have Tanith, a bustling and important port city occupied by the Four Bears, the modern-day remnants of the Ragada, Yakudan warriors who left the doomed continent of Yakuda and sailed towards Tamriel back in the First Era. Then Rihad sits at an ideal spot on the Abyssian coast for commerce and smuggling. Skaven, located in central Highland Hammerfell. Elenhir, known as the City of Mages, in the northeast near the border of Skyrim. This city is the hub for magical learning despite Redguard traditions. And then finally, Dragonstar, ruled by the Crowns with a history of conflict between Redguards and Nords. This city can offer political intrigue. Wow, when it comes to Hammerfell, my lore knowledge is quite sketchy, to be honest. But as I read up more, the more fascinated I get. Dwemer ruins, the Rorken clan, the Four Bears, Yakudan history, the Crowns, the nomadic tribes of Alikir Desert. There is so much lore to play around with. I am super excited, but let's get back to the topic on hand, shall we? So the big question. Which cities will not be featured in the Elder Scrolls 6? If you read the book, The Great War, when playing Skyrim, it says the cities across southern Hammerfell were left in shambles by the end of the war. Even when the Redguards reclaimed the entire region, it was still in a state of ruin. And they're talking about the war between the Empire and Almeri Dominion, which happened in Hammerfell. So the optimist in me says that Gilane, Tanith and Rihad are rebuilt and are flourishing cities by the time Elder Scrolls 6 starts. The pessimist in me says we won't see Gilane, Tanith and Rihad. They will be left as abandoned ruins. Bethesda has lore on their side, and for a change, they will follow the lore. Surprise, surprise. On top of that, they can save a lot of money as they don't have to build these cities, right? When it comes to towns and villages, I won't expect all of the arena towns to make a comeback. A lot of them will get on the chopping block, unfortunately. With Bethesda being Bethesda, we may get around 5 cities and maybe 7 to 8 towns at best. And at worst, I spoke to you about the nightmare situation earlier. For many people, the main story or the main quest is the most important thing. If they don't like the main story, then often they have a negative view of the game. I'm different. I don't care about the narrative main quest or a big story. I'm a sandbox RPG lover. I tend to create multiple characters and plan shorter playthroughs with heavy focus on role-playing. As a result, cities, towns and villages are extremely important for the way I play. In my ideal Elder Scrolls 6, I would love to have all the 9 cities which we see on the map here, at least 15 towns, with each of these settlements offering opportunities for roleplay and a ton of quests. Essentially, we should be able to start a new character at any city, and we should offer a lot of avenues for character progression. So finally, I am fairly positive about Elder Scrolls 6, but with Bethesda's well-known reputation for cutting corners and not having major concerns for established lore, I have conditioned myself to temper expectations. So that's all for today, folks. How do you guys play these Elder Scrolls games? Do you often do the main quest first, or do you prefer exploring factions, or do you enjoy visiting cities and settlements? Do share your thoughts on what we discussed today and your expectations for the next Elder Scrolls game. If you're still watching, I appreciate you, and may the divines watch over you.